Few hours ago, in Minneapolis, a man lunged at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar during a town hall meeting and sprayed her with an unknown substance. She was unharmed, but shaken, and yet she stayed. She continued speaking. This wasn't just an isolated act of violence. This was the inevitable result of years of dehumanization, of treating immigrants and people of color as the other, as threats, as less than human. And for those of us who call ourselves Christians, we need to ask a hard question. How did we get here? And what would Jesus say? Representative Omar has been a target since the day she entered Congress. As a Black, Muslim, immigrant woman who wears a hijab, she represents everything that a certain brand of American politics has taught people to fear. President Trump has attacked her relentlessly, questioning her loyalty, spreading conspiracy theories, calling her anti-American. And it's not just him. The MAGA movement and white Christian nationalist leaders have made her a symbol of everything they claim is destroying America. But the targeting goes beyond just Omar. It's an entire community being demonized. Recently, YouTuber Shirley made a 40-plus minute video accusing several Somali-run Minneapolis daycare centers of large-scale fraud. No evidence, no proof, just accusations thrown at an entire immigrant community, packaged for millions of viewers as investigative journalism. This is how it works. You make a viral video painting Somali immigrants as criminals and fraudsters. Trump amplifies similar narratives from the White House. Media figures pile on. And then someone shows up at a town hall with a spray bottle, thinking they're defending America from the other. But let's be honest about what's really happening here. This isn't about policy disagreements or legitimate fraud investigations. This is about who gets to be considered fully American, who gets to be seen as fully human. Remember when Trump said he wanted more immigrants from Norway and Sweden instead of, as he put it, countries from Africa and Haiti? That wasn't about economics or education levels. That was about race. He wanted white immigrants. This is the ugly truth we have to name. The xenophobia we're seeing is inseparable from racism. It's not about immigration, it's about which immigrants. It's not about assimilation, it's about skin color and religion. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable for those wrapping themselves in the flag and the cross while promoting this hatred. Jesus was an outsider, born to an unwed mother in an occupied territory. His family fled as refugees to Egypt when a government sought to kill him. He spent his life among the marginalized, tax collectors, prostitutes, Samaritans, Romans, the sick, and the poor. In Luke 10, when asked, "Who is my neighbor?" Jesus didn't tell a story about helping people who look like you, worship like you, or speak your language. He told the story of the Good Samaritan, where the hero is the religious and ethnic outsider, and the villains are the religious insiders who walk past suffering. In Matthew 25, Jesus says, "I was a stranger and you welcomed me." And then he makes it clear how we treat the stranger, the immigrant, the outsider. That's how we treat him. Jesus didn't say, "Welcome the stranger, but only if they're white." He didn't say, "Love your neighbor unless they're Muslim." He didn't create categories of acceptable and unacceptable outsiders based on race or religion. White Christian nationalism has twisted the gospel into something Jesus wouldn't recognize. It's baptized racism in holy water and called it patriotism. It's taken the cross, a symbol of God's solidarity with the suffering, and turned it into a weapon against the vulnerable. When Christian nationalist leaders stand alongside politicians who dehumanize immigrants, who call countries with Black and brown people shitholes, who ban Muslims from entering the country, they're not following Jesus. They're following power. They've created an environment where a man feels justified walking into a town hall and assaulting a sitting member of Congress because she's a Somali Muslim immigrant. They've made violence seem like patriotism, like defending Christian values. But there's nothing Christian about it. The early church was radically multi-ethnic, crossing every boundary of the Roman world. In Christ, Paul wrote, "There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free." The gospel demolished the walls between people. It didn't build them higher. After the attack last night, Representative Omar said, "I survived war, and I'm definitely going to survive intimidation." She stayed in that room. She kept speaking. She didn't let fear win. For those of us who claim to follow Jesus, we have a choice. We can stay silent while nationalism masquerades as Christianity. We can let racism hide behind talk of border security and protecting American values. We can watch as people are dehumanized and attacked. Or we can stand with the outsider, the stranger, the immigrant, just like Jesus did. We can name white Christian nationalism for what it is, a heresy that has nothing to do with the gospel of Jesus Christ. We can refuse to let the cross be co-opted by movements of hate. The question isn't whether Representative Omar is Christian. The question is whether we will be truly, actually, radically Christian in the way Jesus commanded. Because when we attack the outsider, we're attacking him. Subscribe to this channel and join me in fighting against white Christian nationalism.